At first, no one noticed her. She sat in the back corner of the classroom, eyes low, always quiet, barely a whisper when called on. Her name was Emily. Pale skin, blonde hair always tied back in a loose ponytail, and shoulders hunched as if she were trying to disappear. Most teachers thought she was just shy. Most students didn't think about her at all. But there were a few, the loud ones, the cruel ones, who noticed. And they decided she was an easy target. It started small. Snide comments. Little jokes whispered just loud enough for her to hear. A missing pencil case here, a cruel drawing left on her desk there. Emily never responded. She would lower her head, blink away the tears, and wait for the moment to pass. But the more silent she stayed, the louder the bullying became. The ringleader was a boy named Jackson. Tall, cocky, always surrounded by a group of snickering boys who thought hurting someone quiet made them powerful. He had it all. Confidence, attention, even the teachers seemed to favor him. And maybe that's why he kept pushing, needing someone smaller to belittle so he could feel big. Emily had reasons for staying quiet. She wasn't weak, and she wasn't scared, not really. She was holding something inside, something she had promised herself she'd only use if absolutely necessary. Her father, a former martial arts instructor who had passed away in a car accident 2 years ago, had trained her from the time she was 7. She knew discipline, restraint, and the value of peace. He had taught her to use strength as a last resort. And she honored that promise every day, even as the bullying escalated. Until one day, the day everything changed. It was the middle of biology class. The teacher had just stepped out for a few minutes. The room was filled with chatter, laughter, and chaos. Emily sat quietly at her desk, flipping through her textbook, when Jackson and his crew approached her. "Hey, ghost girl," he smirked, slamming his hand on her desk, making her flinch. "Why don't you ever talk? Cat got your tongue, or just too boring to bother?" Emily didn't look up. She didn't answer. She had mastered the art of disappearing in plain sight. That only made him angrier. Without warning, Jackson reached down and grabbed the collar of her white shirt. With one vicious tug, he ripped it halfway down the front. The sound of fabric tearing cut through the noise like a blade. The room fell into stunned silence. A few kids gasped. Someone laughed nervously. But most just stared, wide-eyed, frozen. Emily slowly stood up. She didn't cry. She didn't yell. She walked to the front of the room, near the teacher's desk. Jackson followed, mocking her. "What, gonna snitch? Thought you didn't talk." She turned around, calm as ice. Then, with one swift motion, she kicked the heavy wooden desk. The entire room jumped as it slid 2 feet across the floor, the metal legs screeching in protest. Every eye in the room was on her. Jackson blinked, stunned. "What the? You ever touch me again," she said, her voice clear and cold, "and I'll show you exactly what quiet girls are capable of." For a second, no one breathed. Even the air seemed afraid to move. Jackson's mouth opened, then closed. He backed away without another word. The teacher walked in moments later, puzzled by the strange silence. Emily returned to her seat, her shirt torn, but her posture straight and proud. Someone handed her a jacket. It was a girl who had never spoken to her before, a small gesture, but one that meant everything. Word spread quickly. The quiet girl wasn't so invisible anymore. She wasn't weak. And more importantly, she wasn't alone. After that day, everything changed. People started talking to her. Sitting with her. Listening. But Emily didn't change who she was. She still sat in the back. Still listened more than she spoke. But now, when she walked down the hall, no one looked at her like she didn't exist. And Jackson. He never came near her again. In fact, he kept his distance from everyone for a while. It took one moment of courage, one stand, for the entire school to see her, not just as the quiet girl, but as someone powerful in her own way. And the lesson lingered, never mistake silence for weakness. Some storms build quietly before they strike.